all of you friends, you should come to his mom, don't leave his mom.
I am Beryalie. He dictated South Jadian. I did Beryalie. So he has so many names as, I guess he has so many friends. He was just a people person, a very good son. And I would say fortunately that was my only son, because maybe 2 or 3 wouldn't have been as good as him. He was there for me, for his mom. He wanted to stick with me till he was 40, so people can laugh at him that you're still living with your mom. He wanted to have a lot of kids because he didn't have brother and sisters, because he wanted me to have more kids to hang out with. He loved his friends. My God, I cannot explain it. That he, I think, lived his life for his friends. And, he was just a wonderful person. Is somebody that you would love to be around. I had people stop me in the malls, and they talked to him, and they didn't even know him. It's very unfortunate. I would say one thing, that I lost my son in this tragedy. I know when kids are teenagers, they think they're invincible. So please listen to your mothers. There is a meaning behind when they tell you to slow down, because this is what it is. And he always used to tell me. That night he came, he was immaculately dressed, shaved, and he had his hair cut. I can't explain to you how nice he looked. And he said, "Stop worrying about me, Mom. You don't have to worry about me anymore." I guess, I don't know, how can I say I can't worry for him anymore, but I guess for the time being he made it clear to me not to worry. But don't buy motorbikes, please. He didn't let me know. Stay safe for your loved ones. And I thank really everybody from the bottom of my heart that you guys are here. This gives me a reason to look forward to, that he was loved by a lot of people than his immediate family. So thank you very much for coming out, doing all of this for him.
Everyone, I'm Cameron's mom. And I got the phone call from Cameron the night that this happened. And it's not a phone call that any mother would want to get, because the phone call was cut short. And I was left wondering where they are and what happened. Couldn't go back to sleep. I jumped in my car and I just drove. I was driving blind. But from a mother's perspective, what she says is true. You guys are young. And this hit really close to home for me, because he was just like a son to me. He came to my house every day, called my son all the time. He was in my garage for hours every day while my son got his car fixed. We played football with my kids. He was part of my family. And from a mother's standpoint, if I could have told him anything to make him change his mind from getting on that bike, I would have done it. I would have really tried to convince him, but like they say, there are destinies, but you can choose your destiny. Your decisions are what changes the life that you will accomplish, or the lead to the life that you want. A stupid mistake can turn into a tragedy, and then there's no correcting it. You don't know how many days have been by now since this has happened. I just sit and I try to repeat, okay, what could I have done? What words of advice could I have given? I always try to be a role model to all of my kids' friends and my nieces and my nephews. And I don't think there's anything I could have said because he was just a really outgoing kid. And he loved everyone. And I know everyone here could say, the same. He, like my son said, he was very, very generous with everything. And he liked to show off his nice things. That was definite about him. And as we all stand here, I like to think of him as our guardian angel now. As your individual guardian angel. And let this be a lesson to everyone and pass the word, because how many deaths have occurred here in El Grove alone now? And it's been teenage deaths. I went and I read up on the statistics in the past year on how many teenagers have died just in this area alone. And it's crazy. And I'm sorry this had to happen to you. You had a beautiful son, and I believe he's still here with us now. He'll always be with us. And I love you. Beryalie, I knew him as B-Rad. That was the name I loved to say to him, so I love you, and I'm gonna miss you. I'm really, really gonna miss you. Every day. You have a special place in my heart and in my family's. May you rest in peace.
If anyone would like to say anything.
My name is Cisco. I was a pretty close friend of B-Rad. He was definitely a generous person. And I was fortunately one of the people whose generosity really helped. I was in a dire situation, had nowhere else to go. I called him, talked to him, helped me out. He even fed me. He housed me for a couple nights. It really helped because then after that I was able to find a real place to stay with my family. I wasn't able to get in touch with him for a while. And, he fed me, good company. He was just a true friend. Knew him in high school back when kind of looked like a ninja. Like a samurai here. Some peace be there.
I actually met B-Rad back when we were in high school. We were playing basketball together. One of my actual first friends moving from out of LA to out here in the middle of my third period PE basketball class, and it kind of like it was just somebody that was just fun to be around, like somebody I was comfortable because when I first moved out here, it seemed as if everybody was against me because I was a new person out here. And he never seemed to even care about that. It just seemed as if it was me smiling, him smiling, everything was good. We could always kick it. And it seemed as if after high school, after we finally settled down into going to school and stuff, and him being around Cameron and me finally being around Cisco and everybody together and just having fun together, and then coming over to my house and him always just being one person who was always willing just to have fun with us. It was never an issue. It was never any type of like arguments with anybody. Everybody was always chill, and you really did create a great person. You was an amazing person to be around. I'm so happy I met him. Thank you very much.
My name is Justin, and I was also one of the people I was with B-Rad, also that seemed really coming out with that. He's a close friend of mine, He used to love like playing basketball, going to parties, all that stuff. I still have some of his